It's me, Rocky, Carly, here for a makeup tutorial. It's the natural everyday look you guys wanted to see. So we'll just go ahead and jump right into it. All right, stay on the bed. So I'm gonna scoot up a little closer, you can see. First thing I like to do is a liquid highlighter. I kind of have more of a dry skin kind of thing going on right now with winter time, so NYX Illuminator. And if you can't see, I'll put everything down in the comments below. But all I do, this is kind of like a pink toned. It's good for my skin because I'm very pale. So just squirt that out on my finger. Then I'll put it just in places on my face where the sun normally hits. Just the high points. So that's cheekbones up here, down the nose. I know it looks crazy, but we'll cover it. On the forehead, and I'm sorry if I'm sniffling, sinuses, you know how it is. Both sides of the forehead. Little on the chin. And then a bit on the brow bones. And before I started this, I did my primer, all that stuff, moisturizer. So just do that before you start your makeup. Next thing is foundation. I'm gonna go in with Covergirl Smoothers. I'm in 710 Classic Ivory. And for this, because it is a lighter coverage everyday foundation, I'll usually go in with a brush. Just makes it a little bit more full coverage. So just dab that on and kind of buff it. And also, when I'm done with that, I'll kind of stipple it in. This is very natural, great for every day. A little bit on the nose. All right, and then after you get your face covered, go back in with a little bit more on your brush and bring it down the neck. Nobody likes a foundation line. And I look very, very blended. Then just to make sure, blend into the ears. And I don't put a ton under my eye or on my eyelids right now because that is what concealer is for. And the concealer I'm using is the Tarte Shape Tape. I'm in the shade Fair Neutral. Okay, what I'll do with this is I'll do about a little stripe down my nose, dot on the chin, a couple stripes on the forehead, a line under each eye, just a little, and a dot on my eyelids. Looking crazy. All right. Now for this part, anytime I do concealer, I like to use a beauty blender. Mine is very dirty because it's very loved. This is the Real Technique sponge, so super affordable. You can get it at Ulta, Walmart, I believe, Target, a lot of places. Okay, just blend that out. I like to start on the chin, go to the nose. Okay, I'm back. Continue to blend. Forehead. And I really pounce it mostly where I first applied it. And then once you get that, you can kind of spread it out to make sure there's no super harsh edges. Okay. and then go under the eyes. And I still go ahead and use this flat side pretty much everywhere. So I just blend this out all the way down under my eye to the side of my nose and back up, just to highlight this area. If I have any extra, I'll go ahead and apply a little bit around the sides of the nose where I usually get red. On the inner part of the nose by the eye, and then I'll save the eyelid after I do this eye. It looks like I'm beating my eyes to death, but I'm not using a lot of pressure. Just enough to blend it out. Okay. Now, if I'm going for a more glowy look, sometimes I will go in with this cream bronzer. It's by Sonia Kashuk, but the only thing is, she used to be sold at Target. I don't think this product is sold there anymore, so I had to go on Amazon, so we won't use that today just because of inconvenience. So if I'm not going to use any more cream products, I will go straight in with setting powder. I'm going to use Fit Me by Maybelline, shade 10. And I'm going to use the pointed side of my beauty blender for this. I feel like when you apply powder with a beauty blender, it just melts into the skin more and doesn't look like the powder's just sitting on top. So take the flat side again, make sure there's no creases under your eyes or anywhere where you applied the concealer. And then going with the pointed side, get quite a bit of powder, and first I'll start under the eyes. I don't really like to bake, just for, like I said, I kind of have dry skin right now. For more oily skin, I feel like that would work fine, but for me, not gonna work. So I just apply a generous amount, but I really press it in. Pounce around, make sure everything looks even on the face. Okay, and then I will take a fluffier brush. This is the powder brush by Real Techniques. Again, Ulta, Walmart, Target. Very easy to find. I'll just put a little bit of powder on there and set the neck because we did bring foundation down in this area. Just to make sure it doesn't move or get on your clothes. Speaking of clothes, RDH, Dental Hygiene Sisters, you know who you are. You've been begging me to make this, so you're welcome. All right, after you set your face, then like I said, you can go with the cream bronzer before you set, or if you're gonna use a powder bronzer after you set. So this is the Butter Bronzer by Physicians Formula. Lots of shades. This is a shade Sunkissed bronzer. They have light bronzer, regular. This is a little bit of a darker shade, but because I don't contour, I usually go in with a little bit of a deeper shade. That way it kind of does bronzer and contour for me. So I'll put it on a brush about this size. This is the e.l.f. Well, doesn't have a name. It's by e.l.f. Looks like this. If you see it, I got it at Walmart. Okay, so just tap into there. And I start on the cheek area in the hollows, and I know where mine are, just I've done makeup on my own face so many times, but if you're doing makeup on someone else or you've never done like a bronzer before, if you just make the fish face, right where those hollows are is where you want to place it. Okay, and you'll do it on the other side. And this bronzer smells like the beach, like tropical coconut, pineapple, I don't even know, but it smells amazing. Okay, and then take a little bit more, and when I'm dipping in here, I'm just lightly pressing and kind of shaking off the excess. Don't want to go in with too much, I'd rather go in with a little bit and just build it up. Okay, then I'll start right here on the forehead or on the hairline, circular motions, and bring it down to the temple and have it kind of meet where I first put the bronzer, right there. So blend it all the way back towards the ear and back into the hairline. It's very important that you blend it upwards. That way there's not like a distinct line where you placed it. Okay, and on the other side. Next up is blush, one of my favorite parts. This is the Milani Baked Blush in the shade 05 Luminoso. Get this at Ulta, it's not expensive. Notice the trend here, most things I use are not expensive. All right, and I just use a brush like this. You can use honestly any brush, but this is the Luxie 514 blush brush. So just lightly dip it into the product, smile, put it on your cheeks. And I like to start on the apples and then blend it upwards, more towards the temple. Circular motions. Okay, do the other side. And this blush is not sparkly, but it kind of has a glow to it, if you can tell. Very pretty. And then I'll just take a little bit of the product and kind of go down the nose, make it look a little sun-kissed, chin, and around that bronzer area on the forehead. All right, next up, everyone's favorite, highlighter. I use Colourpop, again, not expensive. It's in the shade Flexitarian. And I usually take a brush about like this. It can be smaller if you want, but this is a good size for me. It's the Morphe M510. It's just like that. And I'll just take the highlighter, lightly dip the side of the brush into it, and then first apply it to the cheekbones. Take a little bit more, come up on the side of the forehead and blend it. Get on this side, add it to the cheekbone. So pretty. Start on the forehead and kind of blend it like a crescent moon shape. Okay, a little bit more. Tip of the nose, down the nose, a little on the chin, and on the brow bone. Pretty much the same places where we applied that liquid highlighter before we did our foundation. For me, next up is brows. I don't have a fantastic brow routine. They're just very natural. Nothing crazy. I wish I knew how to do amazing brows. But that's okay. All right. Now I'll just take this brow powder just from the Ulta brand. I have the shade medium. When you open it up, there's gonna be a cream side and then a powder side. It's kind of the lighter powder and then the darker. I don't dip into the cream much, but I do use the powders. As you can tell, very well loved. So I'll take this lighter shade and I'll start in the middle and then blend towards the front. Then I'll take the darker shade, start in the middle and blend towards the tail of my brow. And then just kind of take my brush and blend them all together so it looks seamless. But I like to use lighter at the front, darker at the back. So I'm just gonna do this real quick and I'll be back when the brows are done. Okay, now that the brows are filled in with a little bit of powder, I'm gonna go in next with the L'Oreal Paris Brow Stylist Boost and Set. There's not a color on here, but it's a tinted one, so it's just kind of a light medium brown shade. It looks like this. And it just helps, like I said, to tint the brows and make sure they don't move throughout the day.
Slightly said that.
So next, you can do eyeshadow, whatever eyeshadow look you do, day to day. I don't. So I'm just gonna go back in with the bronzer that we used on our face earlier. And I will go in with a big fluffy brush. This one looks dirty, it's all stained up, but it is clean. So just dip into the bronzer and then put it right in the crease of the eyelid. And you can leave it like this, leave it more of a matte look, or you can add in some highlighter. I just put a little bit on my finger there and tap it onto the lid, more so on the middle and then towards the inner part. Because I added a little bit of that matte darker shade on the outside, try to stay away from that area. And one more time, just to make sure it's blended, go back in with the bronzer. Okay. Then just to make sure there's no fallout underneath here, I will take a small brush like this. This is the setting brush by Real Techniques. Just brush right underneath, just to make sure there's nothing underneath my eye that shouldn't be there. Okay. Then I'll go in with a pencil brush like this, highlighter on my hand, pencil brush. This is by Morphe, it's the M431. Back in with the same bronzer. Stuff is very versatile. And I'll go right under the lower lash line, just to kind of balance the eye out and add a little more warmth under there. Then try to wipe off the makeup on my lips. I will go in with a little bit of lip liner. This is just a very neutral pink shade. It is the Maybelline Color Sensational Shaping Lip Liner in 102 Beige Babe. Just roll it up a little bit and line my lips with it like normal. Then I will take just a little bit and kind of fill in my lips. spread it around. And then I'll go in with a chapstick, a gloss, something just to add a little bit of color and dewiness to my lips. So today I'm using the Lucas's Paw Paw ointment. A lot of YouTubers I watch use this and they love it, so I got it on Amazon. It's not expensive at all. You can use, like I said, any chapstick, any gloss you want. Put a little bit on my finger. Rub it in. Last but not least is mascara. This way you can read it. I use the Bad Gal Bang mascara. You can use any mascara you want, it can be drugstore. This is my favorite, and I'll start on the bottom lashes. Okay, now mascara is done, and that is the completed look for everyday natural makeup. Here we are. If you have any questions, let me know. I think I mentioned every product I use, but if not, like I said, I'll have them all in the comments below. So thanks for watching, and here you go.